You are standing in a room right now, and something is looking at you. Not a person, not a camera. A spider, perched on your ceiling, is watching you with 8 eyes. And what it sees when it looks at your face is not a face at all. It's a pulsing, ultraviolet landscape. Peaks and valleys of light you will never, in your entire life, perceive. To that spider, you are glowing, and you have no idea. Here's the thing nobody tells you. You assume every creature on Earth sees the same you, the same jawline, the same eye color, the same tired expression you catch in the bathroom mirror. But that version of you, the one you've spent your whole life looking at, exists for almost nothing else alive. Most animals on this planet don't see you. They see something else entirely. And what they see says more about what you actually are than any mirror ever could. Start with your dog. The animal that sleeps at the foot of your bed, the one you assume knows your face better than anyone. A dog has 2 types of color receptor cells where you have 3. That means your dog sees the world roughly the way a person with red-green color blindness does. A narrow band of blue and yellow, with everything else collapsed into muddy grays. The red shirt you wore this morning? Gray. Your lips? Nearly the same shade as your skin. That warm, rosy glow of your face after a run? Gone. To your dog, you are a soft, blurred, mostly gray shape that smells like everything you've eaten in the last 48 hours. But here's where it gets strange. In 2017, a team at Eötvös University in Budapest used eye-tracking technology to watch where dogs look when shown a human face. They found that dogs fixate on the eye region, specifically the eyes, regardless of the emotion on the face. They do this without training, without prompting, without reward. Your dog can't see the color of your eyes, but it stares into them anyway. Something about the geometry of a gaze matters to a dog more than color ever could. And dogs aren't even the interesting case. A honeybee sees 3 colors, but not the same 3 you do. A bee's vision is shifted. It can't see red at all. Red, to a bee, is black, empty, invisible. But it can see ultraviolet light, a frequency you are biologically locked out of. Flowers that look plain white to you are covered in ultraviolet runway patterns, concentric rings, bullseyes, landing strips that point straight to the nectar. Scientists call them nectar guides, and they are invisible to every human who has ever lived. If a bee landed on your hand and looked at your skin, it would see patterns you didn't know you had. Veins, pigmentation, sun damage, all of it reflecting and absorbing UV light in ways your eyes can't decode. You think you know what your skin looks like. A bee would disagree. A bird would disagree even harder. Because birds don't just see 3 primary colors, they see 4. Birds are tetrachromats. They have a 4th type of cone cell tuned to ultraviolet wavelengths. That means a pigeon looking at you sees a version of your face painted in colors that don't exist in your vocabulary. There is no word for what a bird sees when it looks at human skin. No name, no hex code, no paint swatch. You are, to a pigeon, a creature displaying patterns and hues that you yourself are not equipped to detect. You are wearing a coat of color you can never take off and never see. And birds may be doing something even more unsettling. In 2021, researchers confirmed that migratory birds possess a protein in their retinas called cryptochrome 4, CRY4. This protein is sensitive to Earth's magnetic field. It means that when a European robin looks at the sky, it doesn't just see blue. It sees the magnetic field of the planet overlaid on its vision like a compass stitched into the air. We don't know exactly what this looks like, but if a robin looked at you, it might see not just your shape, not just your ultraviolet ghost, but a faint magnetic signature, the iron in your blood, the electrical flicker of your nervous system, as a dim, ambient hue radiating from your body. You, to a bird, are not just a visual object. You are an electromagnetic event. But there is another layer to this, and it might be the strangest part of all. A pit viper, a rattlesnake, a copperhead, a bushmaster, has 2 small pits between its eyes and its nostrils. Inside each pit is a membrane thinner than a sheet of paper, packed with nerve fibers connected to a channel protein called TRPA1. In 2010, a team led by David Julius at the University of California, San Francisco, published a paper in Nature identifying this protein as an infrared receptor. The same protein that detects the burn of wasabi in your mouth has been repurposed by evolution to detect heat at a distance. A rattlesnake can sense the infrared radiation coming off a mouse from a meter away, in complete darkness. And the signal from that pit organ gets routed to the optic tectum of the brain where it merges with visual input. The snake literally sees heat. It superimposes a thermal image onto its visual world. If a rattlesnake looked at you in a dark room, it would not see your face. It would not see your clothes or your hair or the expression on your mouth. It would see a bright, glowing silhouette of warmth. Your breath, a plume of hot air, would be visible. Your hands and face, the warmest exposed surfaces, would burn brightest. The rest of you would smolder in shifting reds and oranges, pulsing slightly with each heartbeat. You, to a pit viper, are a lantern made of blood. And then there is the creature that should not be able to see you at all. In 2016, Dr. Kate Newport at the University of Oxford trained archer fish, small tropical fish that spit jets of water to knock insects out of the air, to recognize human faces. Not categories, not shapes, individual faces. The fish were shown a learned face alongside 44 new faces and picked the correct one 81% of the time. When the researchers removed obvious features like head shape and hair color, accuracy went up to 86%. These fish have no neocortex. They have no facial recognition circuitry. They have a brain the size of a peppercorn, and they can tell you apart from your sibling. That fact should unsettle you, because it means that the ability to distinguish one human from another is not some sophisticated trick locked inside the primate brain. It's something simpler, something older. A fish in a tank of water with no evolutionary reason to tell humans apart can do it anyway, using nothing but the geometry of your features and a spit of water. And here's where it gets personal. What an animal sees when it looks at you is not a lesser version of reality. It is a different reality, one that is, in many cases, more complete than yours. You walk through the world believing you see it as it is. You don't. You see a thin slice, a narrow band of electromagnetic radiation between roughly 380 and 700 nanometers. That's it. That's your window. Everything below it and everything above it, the ultraviolet blazing off your skin, the infrared pouring from your body, the magnetic field laced through your cells, is invisible to you, but obvious to something else. A mantis shrimp has 16 types of photoreceptor cells. 16. You have 3. The full spectrum of what you look like, the total portrait of your physical body interacting with every form of light and energy, is something no human will ever see. Not because the technology doesn't exist, because the biology doesn't. Every animal that has ever looked at you has seen a version of you that you cannot access. Your dog sees you in loyalty and scent and the geometry of your gaze. A bird sees you in 4-dimensional color and magnetic haze. A rattlesnake sees you as a furnace wrapped in skin. An archerfish sees you as a pattern of angles worth remembering. A bee sees you as an ultraviolet stranger. And tonight, when you stand in your bathroom and look at your own reflection, remember, that mirror is showing you the least of what you are, a sliver, a guess. Every other creature on Earth sees something more. You are not what you look like. You never were.